Conformity is a prevalent theme found in dystopian fiction. Conformity is a form of government control, and it happens when society members are stripped of their individuality in order to repress conflict. In engaging Apolitical Adolescents, analyzing the popularity and educational potential of dystopian literature post-9/11, Melissa Ames writes, "The lack of individual thinking stems from the dystopian society's embrace of their uniformity out of fear that diversity breeds conflict." A great example of this is in the dystopian series Divergent by Veronica Roth. In Divergent, the citizens are all separated into factions, and each of them have specific jobs and values.
4.
He's gone. And we're all safer for it.
Safer? How are we safer?
The brilliance of the faction system is that conformity to the faction removes the threat of anyone exercising their independent will.
In American society today, there are many debates on the effects of social media, such as TikTok, forcing adolescents into identity silos through strategic advertising. In Devin Ryan's article, Emerging Themes in Dystopian Literature, the Development of an Undergraduate Course, he explains that the exploration of conformity resonates with adolescents facing challenges of managing personalities, choices, and appearances in their formative years, which may be a reason why dystopian fiction has become so popular among young adults. According to Venkatesan's article, Experimental Study of Consumer Behavior, Conformity, and Independence, many buying actions come from the desire to identify with a group. As of 2023, consumer spending in the US reached an all-time high. Alongside consumerism, another form of conformity seen in both dystopian fiction and American society is censorship. Censorship is the suppression of speech, communication, or media content generally used to inhibit individualistic ideas, and it's found in novels like Fahrenheit 451 by Ray Bradbury, which uses irony in that in the book, all books are burned to prevent citizen unrest. The irony, however, does not stop there. Book bans are becoming more and more prominent in American society, and one of the banned books is none other than Fahrenheit 451. Due to its repressive qualities, conformity is closely related to another theme found in dystopian fiction. Totalitarianism is a form of government in which most, if not all, aspects of society are controlled by the state. Because totalitarianism requires manipulative tactics to work, conformity and censorship remain prominent in this form of government. In the article The Evolution of Dystopian Literature by Mary Baldwin, Baldwin emphasizes how totalitarian governments control and manipulate their citizens. She states totalitarianism is depicted as a force that extinguishes individual freedoms, fostering a society where the government reigns supreme. Totalitarianism is found in many, if not majority, of literary dystopian novels, as it creates a foundation for rebellion based on fear. Devin Ryan notes that totalitarianism is one of the most commonly used elements in many staple texts from the genre. In 1984, George Orwell depicted a dystopian society governed by a totalitarian regime called the Party, which uses people's worst fears as a tool of psychological control. In comparison to 1984, in The Hunger Games, the districts are completely controlled by the capital of Panem, which uses fear to oppress its citizens into total obedience. In a scene from Catching Fire, President Snow forces the lead protagonist Katniss Everdeen to adhere to his agenda by threatening her with the safety of her loved ones.
People viewed your little trick with the berries as an act of defiance. And if a girl from District 12, of all places, can defy the capital and walk away unharmed, what is to prevent them from doing the same? What is to prevent, say, an uprising?
It must be a fragile system if it can be brought down by just a few berries.
Yes, it is indeed. But not in the way you imagine it.
How should I imagine?
You should imagine thousands upon thousands of your people dead.
In dystopian novels, when psychological manipulation doesn't work, the government resorts to physical brute force. Examples of this method include The Hunger Games' peacekeepers raiding District 12. Although America is run by a federal government, Americans are no stranger to the concept of police brutality. A recent major event in American society was the death of George Floyd. The event caused citizens to protest, which led to increasing violence and tension between citizens and police officers, to the point where some Americans coined the term ACAB, standing for All Cops Are Bad. The last dystopian theme on the list is social inequality. Social inequality is a crucial aspect of dystopian literature because it creates a divide in society. Social inequality is one of the themes most satirically critiqued within dystopian fiction. In Melissa Ames's article Engaging Apolitical Adolescents, Analyzing the Popularity and Educational Potential of Dystopian Literature Post 9/11, she describes how the Hunger Games mirrors society today by explaining that it can read as an allegory for the state of both capitalism and education today, as like the competitors selected from the various fictional districts, some children start with advantages due to wealth. Other children, the unprepared ones, the ordinary ones, die unceremoniously as the children with advantages temporarily band together to kill everybody else first. In The Hunger Games by Suzanne Collins, social inequality can be seen not only in the wealth pyramid that is the districts themselves, but also through the excessive extravagance and glamour of the capital. Suzanne uses irony to exceptionally contrast the vast difference between District 12 and the capital citizens in terms of hunger. While the district citizens are starving, people in the capital are drinking substances that make them throw up so they never get full from eating.
People are starving in 12. Here they're just throwing it out to stuff more in.
In Mary Baldwin's article, The Evolution of Dystopian Literature, she goes on to say the young adult dystopian narrative uses metaphors to portray problems and concerns arising in everyday society. After watching The Hunger Games, many people in society today have made the comparison between things like Vogue's Met Gala and the excessiveness of the outfits displayed in the capital scenes of the series. Suzanne Collins herself once said that she got some of the inspiration for her series by watching reality television. Social inequality can be found in many aspects of society today, like Hollywood versus regular America. According to the U.S. Census Bureau, there are currently 37.9 million Americans living in poverty, accounting for 11.6% of the total population. In America, there is a large wealth gap between the rich and the poor. Overall, common themes found in dystopian fiction are conformity, totalitarianism, and social inequality. These themes contribute to understanding modern-day society by reflecting on power structures, societal pressures, and disparities. Thanks for watching.